Hey everybody, it's Justin, your guide into the other side. Today, let's jump back into Legends of the Mara and ask ourselves a question. Hey, what's the purpose of a battle ally loot and why should I care about it? And personally, I did want to talk about battle ally loot in the context of season 2, mainly because in the other side official Discord, I had one of the managers say that it was mintable end of season. So with that in mind, let's definitely that kind of got me thinking. I was like, oh wow, does that mean that that's tradable on market? Does that mean we're going to be able to equip that to our battle allies? What does that mean? And honestly, that's obviously in the context of season 2, and season 1 is just a quick, relaxed season. We're just kind of understanding the basic mechanics of just farming our sediment fragments. Speaking of sediment fragments, we are sitting at about 26% of Biogenic Swamp left over. We have this low inventory warning, so if you do want to pick up Biogenic Swamp, definitely pick that up. Or try to farm that. We have Chemical Goosing about 78%. That's probably going to go by really quickly. And then the rest are big chilling at 85% and up. So again, season 1 is just about learning how to fight the Shattered, and we'll jump into the hunt in just a moment. And as well as get acquainted with vessel nesting, fragments, etc., etc. So let's actually jump into the hunt as a whole, right? So, we have I have my Epic Hunter, just kind of fighting my Shattered. I have, a little bit over halfway beaten. I'm actually trying to win the bounty up here. I'm trying to pull a master chest, and I have about 7 days remaining. Am I going to be able to get that? I'm just trying to learn how to use my abilities, maybe not necessarily waste too much mist, especially. But again, I do want to deal enough damage to get this master chest. So again, master chests are important because you can pull legendary loot, right? And you might be wondering, hey, what's the point of this loot? Again, you can kind of see there's Forgotten Runes loot. Obviously there's some really cool stuff like the Eldritch Codex, the World Shaper Staff, Cap of Hermes, as well. As a power gauntlet. There's some Serum City boxes. Obviously those are gonna have a box mechanic. Open them up, get some cool stuff. And then I'll largely overlook ship parts for now. But, there's Renga loot as well as applied primate crafting. One thing that was really interesting was that this applied primate, I know my head's in the way. I can't really move it. It says applied primate enchanter shard. So that's definitely interesting. We'll get back to that in just a moment. But honestly, trying to pull this battle ally loot is, I guess, on my priority list. And, honestly, what's the point of it all? Why should I really care about it? And personally, I do want to talk about it in the context of the gaming blog, because the gaming blog is really important to pull all the official information and kind of the overarching plan for what's coming in the future, right? So in Season 1, Shades fight to constrain the Shattered, right? Preventing them from unleashing their full powers and preventing them from fully manifesting on other side. So that sentence is really important because the Shades represent these Oda ghosts that are kind of nerfing your boss. And, your Sidian boss is basically not fighting back at you, right? We actually saw in the open beta trailer, we saw the Mosquito boss dropping a Spirit Bomb on your Oda team. And it's like, we haven't really been introduced to the concept of damage to our Oda team yet, and that is actually covered here, so we'll get to that in just a moment. So while some Shades sought refuge in hospitable vessels, others banded together to protect Otherside until the arrival of the Mara. So again, in Season 2, the Shades' abilities to fight the Shattered have collapsed, which means that the nerf goes away, essentially. Shattered manifests in Otherside and the Wrath Unbounded, right? So they can actually start dealing damage back to us, right? So Kodamars, Maras, and the Friends need to mobilize a defensive as the Shattered attack mercilessly. So what does this mean? So it means that the Friends are going to come to play in Season 2. Very exciting. That's why we're gearing up for all the battle ally loot, etc., etc. So to keep the protectives of Otherside safe from damage in Season 2, only the skill and cunning of Voyager strategies will shield the wounded protectors in battle and mitigate damage taken, right? So we actually saw, all the battle allies here. I actually did want to skip over to the part where the cards were showing up, right? So, outside of our Oda team, we actually saw, applied primate sentinel here, as well as a Meebit as a card, right? So obviously there's going to be deployable inside of the game, and to I guess attack or maybe enchant, maybe even farm. I'm not sure. There are a couple of loot battle ally loot that do imply other towards other particular use cases. So again, let's actually jump back to the game guide. So again, in both season 1 and 2, Voyagers join the fight by strategically equipping slots and hit points on a game card. So Voyagers equip, by strategically equipping slots and hit points on a game card. So I don't necessarily know how hit points work, but does this verbiage kind of imply that we're equipping the battle ally loot to our game cards? Come on. Right? I hope I'm right. When a card's HP has been exhausted, Voyagers can wait for them to recover over a cooldown period or use other means to heal sooner, regain HP, or get back into the fight, right? So once fully healed, a card will return to the battlefield to defend Otherside once again. So let's talk about that, right? So right now, in Season 1, it's actually the easiest to maximize DPS because the Shattered are not like absolutely nuking you, right? In Season 2 and beyond, we're actually going to have downtime for our defenders, right? So you're going to have to like manage them, I guess. I'm not necessarily sure how that's going to work. Or they're just going to have downtime where they can't do DP damage. So that might change the way things are moving. So that's going to be really important. So again, let's talk about loot. What's important? So when a Shatter is defeated, we know that Voyagers were rewarded with treasures called unearthed artifacts, right? And some are consistent across all leaderboard tiers. Each tier has a limited supply, which means that there will be exclusive rewards, etc., etc. Some of these treasures will be utilized to enhance a Voyager's gameplay within the game, while others will aid the friends. Very interesting. So, if we actually drop over to the game guide, take a look at the objectives, right? Use using your OTA team, plus partner collections in future seasons. Each time you're victorious, you'll receive loot that could be used to craft items for what's ahead. So that's also interesting to look at. The verbiage across the board is very, very, very. It makes sense. It makes sense personally. So if we actually scroll down to, coming soon, we can actually see some of the loot here. There's a beaker for the, the Hunter Shard, for applied primates. We also have I think this is a spellbook, as well as a Magis card. I think this is a Magis card. And then we have the amazing Renga art here. Love these. And then more Forgotten Runes like a cap, as well as, I don't know what this is. Well, actually, I can find out what that is if I actually take a look. It is a Lantern of Dreams. Okay, so basically, all these are definitely interesting. Wizards and enchanting, come on, that's a little bit coincidental. And then there's also like different roles for the beakers and the battle ally loot. Right? There's a hunter beaker, and then there's a farmer one, and then there's also an enchanter one as well. Does that mean that battle allies can do all three things, or one of three things? Or I don't know. That's the fun part. It's just all speculation on my part. So do you have a battle? Do you have a battle ally? Are you gonna pick up one? Or there's Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, 10 KTF. There's Heavy Metal Forge, Meebits, Cryptodes, Forgotten Runes, Wizards, Mutant Hounds, World of Women, Rengas. I love Renga Inc. And then Mega Force Sentinel. So, if you got Battle Ally loot, if you're looking to pick those up, especially those master chests, do let me know in the comments below. Definitely like and subscribe this video if you found anything in this interesting, or if you've learned anything, because, do let me know if you are enjoying fighting against your Obsidian bosses. I know this is, I know it's been pretty exciting. To figure out how all the abilities work, stuff like that, etc., etc. But, everything is in the description. You can catch me on Twitter, find my guides, etc., etc. I'm going to sign off. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.